For all of that, our guest today shot to fame 20 years ago, topping the charts as a member of Liberty X. She's been here with us on this show many times, sharing the emotional ups and the downs of her life. And last year, she opened up to us about her battle with alcoholism.
3 months ago, I was on death's door. I had been given a couple of days. That's the reality of my story. I was so ill. I had lost so much weight. My skin was translucent. My belly was very swollen and very hard. I was sick to drink more.
Well, a year into sobriety, Michelle wants to give encouragement to others with her story. So, ladies, please welcome Michelle Heaton.
Oh, God. I thought I'm going to fall down those stairs. Hello, girl. Thank you for having me. I'm like a herd of elephants down there.
No, you're not at all. You're not at all. What's it like for you to look back at that clip? Because it's not, you know, it wasn't that long after you started doing your treatment.
It wasn't. I remember coming in before that one and discussing when I'd be ready to come on. And even looking back at that, I was ready to come on, but I can see looking at that now how I was just so fragile still and so fearful of what might come because, you know, we try and keep it in the day when we're going through recovery. But at that point, I think I was in it for the minute because I didn't know what to expect. And I just looked really scared and vulnerable there still.
Oh, bless you. And how's life a year on?
Not like that. You know, if somebody told me again, you know, 9 months ago that I'd be feeling free, happy, you know, that feeling of the knots in your stomach and not sure whether I can do this. I think the fear is, can I actually do this? Because all I knew was the past 7-8 years was active addiction. It's hard to then think about the new you because you don't really know who you are. But I'm glad I made it. I mean, obviously, it's still one day at a time. I still work my programme, so I don't let these things go. I keep it so I can keep my sobriety.
Such a good phrase that you feel free.
Yeah.
Because it is, a lot of people associate alcohol with, like, woo, free, fun, whatever. But, of course, for you and so many other people, it is a very, very bad addiction. What do you think is the single most thing that helped you to get where you are now? Was it a particular type of therapy or is it your own sort of hard work?
So, I went into the Priory and I had the 28 days of addiction programme and that got me clean. It doesn't really get you sober, you know, dry sober we talk about in recovery. And I was a dry drunk. I was a dry drunk for many months after that because I was acting out still in ways. And
that means you're not actually drinking, but you're still of that mindset.
Of that mindset, yeah. Irritable, snappy, and not, you know, trying to get out of oneself. It takes time because I was so in myself, in addiction, selfish to the core, manipulative.
It was very selfish.
You have to relearn all of these traits of your character, and it was really, really hard work. But I think, like, I follow a 12-step programme today. I'm in AA and CA. I do my meetings. I do service. I sponsor people. I've got a sponsor. So I work really hard at recovery.
So has that replaced your drinking? You know, the time that you spent drinking, do you use that time with lots of different things now?
You know, drinking was so exhausting. It occupied every waking moment. So this is easy. Really? You know, it's hard work at the beginning, but when you get it and you start to work it, it's so much easier than it was before. And I think, like, it's just so easy. All I can say is that I've got just a really happy sense of being now, and I just didn't.
But then it's not just you that's involved in this, is it? But you've got your husband and you've got your children. Do you think going through that process of being in therapy and then working on yourself, did that give you a better understanding of what it was like for them living alongside you within that addiction?
Yeah, I mean, when you're in addictive behaviours, you don't see what's happening to yourself, let alone other people. I had no regards to what was happening to my family. It's shameful to say that. Sometimes they were in my way. You know, when the kids might really needed a cuddle, I just wasn't there for them.
It's not shameful, it's honest.
Yeah. And you feel a lot of guilt as well, don't you?
Yeah, so much guilt. But it wasn't until I got sober, clean, that I could recognise how I was behaving. And then the guilt comes in. So working through guilt in sobriety is tough as well. It wasn't until I was in the Priory and I had 5 days clean, and my husband wrote me a letter in the Priory and it was read out to me, was only then, when I heard his words, being clean for the first time, that I could say, hi, I'm Michelle, I'm an alcoholic addict. And that was the first time I said it. And I'm smiling because I thank God I did.
Yeah.
I acknowledged what I was, and then from that day I worked on it.
And what would you say was the most impactful thing that your kids had to see within you? You know, were you just not present with them? And
yeah, I wasn't present for anybody. I wasn't present for myself. I didn't give them what they needed, which was nurturing. No nurturing at all. And so, you know, when I came out and I started to navigate who I was again, so were the kids.
Yeah.
They had to navigate who I was again. Kids are very forgiving. You know, they didn't acknowledge how much I was in pain because, you know, I tried as best to shelter that. However, they were navigating my reactions, whereas my reactions
was it to
before...
talk to your children about it?
You know, fortunately or unfortunately, it's, you know, our lives are out there, so they were going to find out, especially my 10-year-old. So we sat her down, well, Hugh sat her down before I came out and told her that Mummy's getting better and that Mummy's allergic to wine and alcohol and she can't drink it anymore. And that's all she knows, that I'm allergic to it. And, you know, we use that word in sobriety in the fellowship. We get an allergic reaction to alcohol. Yeah. Once we start, we can't stop.
And what about your husband? You brought your letter. Great. You just wanted to read it a bit, didn't you?
Well, I brought it just in case it was fitting, and I feel really comfortable doing this.
You sure?
My husband's given me permission to do this, and I share it with certain people. But I'll only do a little bit because otherwise we'll be here forever.
And is this the letter he wrote you when you were in recovery?
This is the exact one. You can see it's got little, like, thumbprints of makeup on over it. So this is literally just to show you how much it can affect the loved ones, the husbands, the families, the mums, the dads, the kids. Because I never saw any of this in active addiction. It was only when I came out. Watching you spiral like this has personally been very hard to deal with. I couldn't talk to my best friend, which was you. The last 3 years, I've watched you spiral and turn into someone I don't recognise. The strain that has been put on our relationship has been very demanding. I've been left embarrassed several times by the way you spoke to me in front of people, which was never you. You were always my biggest fan. Yet I found myself being the brunt of your anger and having to shoulder that while also trying to help the kids navigate your new behaviour. Your addictive behaviour has hurt me a lot personally, Charles, and it's turned you into a liar. You've become someone who's very untrustworthy. Your behaviour has robbed me of my wife and the kids of their mummy.
Oh, don't.
Oh, Michelle.
Well, you know...
Give her a hug. Linda wants to give you a hug. There you go.
Like, you know...
But look at you now, amazing.
That I don't recognise that person. I still think, oh, I'm not that person, and I am not. Addiction got me, and addiction created that person that I don't even recognise now. But at the time, I couldn't recognise it. Thank God I did.
Do you feel strong now?
I do. I feel really strong. I mean, my body is 42 and menopause and, you know, I've got ailments everywhere. I can't bend down anymore, but it's just, honestly, but that's all irrelevant. I'm a strong person. I can say no to things and I can choose the right things to do and not do.
And what's wonderful about you feeling strong enough to come on and talk about it here is there'll be so many people that will gain strength from your honesty, and especially from Hugh's letter as well, because that was a beautiful thing for him to open up about, a beautiful thing for you to share with us. So
you're more than welcome. If you can help one person, then that's great.
Oh, Michelle,
well
thank
done,
you.
Michelle.
Well, look, if anything Michelle has talked about resonates with you, we do have help on our website, so do make sure you go and take a look.